We're here at Bad Take. So twice in 1 week. So a few days ago, I did a Hulk Hogan tribute show, if you can call it that. But this weekend is big for actually this not just weekend, but this week was big for WWE. This coming weekend will be SummerSlam 2025, emanating from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, if I believe. I believe it's the Giant Stadium, but they use New Jersey for some reason. Um, if I know if I don't know if I'm right, but probably. Um, it's the first ever two-night SummerSlam. So similar with WrestleMania, with what they did with WrestleMania. I have my thoughts on that maybe probably in a while. Because a lot of people are saying that two nights WrestleMania is fine because of how big WrestleMania is and how big the roster is. So it's okay for them to do back to back WrestleManias in a weekend. But how why SummerSlam should be like one. I don't. It my personal perspective with that. It's I guess for me it's fine in some way because if they're comparing every PLEs or pay per view to WrestleMania, of course WrestleMania is WrestleMania. It's the standard PLE, pay per view or whatnot event that even other wrestling companies are comparing their own pay per views or special event like that to WrestleMania. With AEW they have All In. With um with I'm sorry. With TNA you have give me 1 second because I have to do something for my kid. And yeah. So and for TNA you have Bound for Glory or Slammiversary. I believe it's Bound for Glory. The WrestleMania they're Bound for Glory. So why they people are telling because I believe they announced a two night SummerSlam last year, I believe, and for 2026 it's in Minneapolis because for the longer a longer period of time Minneapolis has been vying for WrestleMania, and for some reason they're not getting WrestleMania. I don't know why. People are saying even few years, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years ago, even 6 years ago, even that a Minneapolis WrestleMania is needed for a Brock Lesnar retirement match. But we don't know. But instead, they're going for Minneapolis next year. But they announced earlier this year that SummerSlam will be two nights as well. And some people are like chiming in why that WrestleMania now is now losing its luster because of the two-night event. I don't mind that. If WrestleMania is the Super Bowl, the NBA Finals, what else? Uh, Stanley Cup, World Series for other sports. SummerSlam for me, it's the All-Star game. It's an NBA All-Star, NFL Pro Bowl, NHL All-Star, MLB All-Star, whatever. That's it. That's the difference. That's not how you lose luster. It's like SummerSlam is like a halfway to a season for for wrestling for me. So that's my take on that. So it's okay for me. Two nights is okay, especially if you have a big or bloated roster like WWE. Two nights is kind of needed if you ask me. But yeah, uh, Royal Rumble for me needs to be two nights if you ask me. For one for the women and one for the men's Royal Rumble. I don't know, but it's just me. But yeah, I don't mind about that. It's just an event, meaning I can watch back-to-back nights, right? Back-to-back days here in the Philippines. So yeah, so yeah. I was supposed to do like a couple of another. Wait, sorry. I saw the reason why a big week for WWE is because yesterday, their 5 episode documentary WWE and Unreal premiered in Netflix, and it's awesome. That's my take on it. I was like thinking I should do like a review of that, but will forego that. I mean, I know a lot of people have seen it, because it's on Netflix. Even you don't need even here in Manila, here in the Philippines, you don't need a VPN access to watch it. It's there. And so when I saw it, 5 episodes, I binge watch it. It's great. It's everything I wouldn't say it's everything that I hoped for. I thought they were going really deeper in terms of how creative works, but they have a portion of it. Meaning they're in an office set up in a conference room. Triple H is sitting in head of the table, no pun intended, and you have the writers, Ed Koski, and other writers. They're just brainstorming. Then afterwards, the show goes on. It's more of a backstage pass, and it's not really. I like I said, I thought it was like more groundbreaking. That okay, here's what should this character should say. Here's this person what should how should say things. Because go way back maybe more than a decade or two ago, there are groundbreaking documentaries. You have Wrestling in Shadows or with Shadows with Bret Hart and Beyond the Mat. Beyond the Mat was more groundbreaking because you have Vince Russo or Ed Ferrara back then. They were really actually talking to The Rock. Say this and say this, say this. So it's more of that. In Unreal, there's a little bit of that, but not that much. So it's more of like really a backstage story. But I guess I'll provide a review probably next week for that. So statute of limitation will be for spoilers are over, right? That's 1 week. So yeah. So then I was thinking maybe a top 10 SummerSlam or my personal favorite top 10 SummerSlam matches, but I'm like WWE has already provide that with their YouTube channel. I believe the number one SummerSlam match ever was or is Bret Hart versus the late Davey Boy Smith, British Bulldog. SummerSlam '92, I believe in Wembley Stadium. They're only Wembley stadiums so far. And it's well deserved. I saw that match as well when I was a kid, renting a VHS tape. And yeah, and Bret Hart had an interesting story about that match. Maybe I will discuss it maybe some other time. But it's awesome because I read Bret Hart's book. I have a soft copy of it, and I always read it every once in a while. And when I was reading it, like, wow, didn't notice that. But yeah, so I forgo the top 10, and I was like thinking maybe top 5 SummerSlam PLEs or pay-per-views. Nah, I mean it's been the been a lot of people has been doing that. So I guess for me, what to do is to do fantasy booking. What if scenarios for the two world championship matches that will happen this weekend? So night one will feature world heavyweight champion Gunther, defending the title against CM Punk, and on night two, undisputed WWE champion John Cena on his retirement tour defends the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes in a street fight. So, prediction fantasy booking. So this is what we're going to do. This two world championship because they have separate storylines. One is from Raw, one is from SmackDown, but they are really connected to each other. Although there's no interaction between all four, except for Punk and Cena, they wrestled like maybe a month ago or less than a month ago in at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia for 1 month. But that's it. But the thing is, in a couple of months, or maybe more than a month, or maybe a couple of months, there's a PLE in Perth, Australia, Crown Jewel. And I believe in the trailer for that, the preview for that, they already announced that Crown Jewel Championship will be on the line. Meaning that the championship that Cody Rhodes and Gunther fought last year at Crown Jewel in Saudi, when they had the big ass belt, they're the world champions are going to fight for it again. So it's like a King of the Ring type of thing, but for the champions. So how am I going to book this? Like I said, it the two matches that's going to happen this weekend. I know there's still clash at Paris, but the two world title matches this weekend is connected with each other. If I'm the writer, if I'm the head of creative, if I'm CCO, what happens at night one determines what happens at night two. How? Gunther or CM Punk? CM Punk got a very great promo, a very good promo earlier this week, or a couple of days ago at Monday Night Raw. Him saying, "I need to be world championship." He even went to a throwback of, wrestling is my addiction. I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't drink. Wrestling is my addiction. That's a throwback 20 years ago, I believe, or no, not 20 years ago, 24 years ago at ECW when he was about to debut. He's saying that he needs it. But the thing is, when CM Punk, you know, went back to WWE, he did a couple of interviews as Phil Brooks or CM Punk Phil Brooks, or more Phil Brooks than CM Punk, saying that, you know what, I don't need to be world champion here. And for him, it's more on elevating talents, especially the younger talents. That's his job now, with him being a veteran in the wrestling business. And I believe even before that, he even said that in interviews that way back in AEW, he didn't want to be the world champion. But, the booker of AEW said, no, be the world champion. So he just took it, then yeah, that's what's happened. And I believe for Punk, I believe Punk signed for like 20, I don't know, not 20, for that 5 years for WWE. And I think in between period of that time, I think he will hold the world title, whether it's the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship. He will hold that title. I think for CM Punk in the stage of his career right now, he is Shawn Michaels way back in 2002 to 2000 something. Shawn Michaels came back from retirement and wrestled for like more at least 6 8 years. Then he only won the world championship once and held it for like 1 month, and that's it. But I think Punk will be doing that. I think the stature of CM Punk as a top talent in WWE is still there. If you say CM Punk, and even if you give him like a mid carder, that mid carder will be elevated over to the main event spot, and because that's CM Punk's stature or status in WWE. So yeah, for me, the match of Gunther and CM Punk for the world title, whatever whoever wins determines what happens at night two. And my fantasy booking, my creative hat works like this. People might hate me. Like I said, this is just my opinion and me fantasy booking, or how I will write things for these two matches. CM Punk loses to Gunther, either via interference or just a clean win for Gunther, but CM Punk loses. I think the coronation for CM Punk to be world champion, if you ask me, I think it's a bigger thing to do or happen at a WrestleMania, probably WrestleMania 42. So this is like a prolonged booking, if you ask me. Fantasy booking, like I said. Opinion, fantasy booking. So if you might hate me, well, whatever. So CM Punk loses, and at least embroiled in like some other feuds, probably with Rollins group or what or whoever. Probably I think Karrion Cross, if Karrion Cross sign a new contract, a feud with CM Punk would be great for both guys. If CM Punk decides to move to SmackDown or someone from SmackDown decides to move to Raw, Aleister Black is also a good feud for CM Punk. Well, or all those things. Gunther retains, and when Gunther retains, if ever that Gunther retains the World Heavyweight Championship at night two, it will determine what will happen at night one. I'm sorry, it will determine what will happen at night two. So night 2 will be John Cena defending the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. And I don't think that fans, majority of the fans, it's okay for some, I guess, that a rematch probably between WWE for if ever WWE champion Cody Rhodes against Gunther that would happen at Crown Jewel in Australia. I don't want to see that. I've seen it before. I've seen it. I know it was like their only one-on-one match, Gunther versus Cody. Or maybe for me, it's not really that good of a story of a rematch just for Gunther to redeem the loss from Cody. I if I see that happening, it's only like 5-10% that it will happen. But it's not that enticing anymore for that. It happened last year, and Gunther and Cody Rhodes had interaction in Royal Rumble 2023 and 2024, especially 2023 between they were them being the last two. So it's been seen. And how will I book night 2? Cody Rhodes loses to John Cena. And how will I book that? Either someone interferes, maybe probably similar, or John Cena turns more towards being a babyface, and Cody starts to turn to that dark side. Because if you see in the past interviews of Cody, he's starting to get intense towards John Cena, and John Cena is just him being with his heel run, and that's it. Sorry, it's my son. So um, that's it. And how will I prolong the booking? John Cena turns babyface this last half of his retirement run towards December. He can still hold the WWE Championship as a babyface, as a good guy, to Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship heel. Now it's really now this will be divisive if between what if ever that WWE Champion John Cena faces World Heavyweight Champion Gunther at Crown Jewel. It's a flip of a coin of who wins. For me, I'm still going with John Cena. I think this is John Cena's final run. I think he should win all of his matches until the last one. And how will I book the prolonged feud? Like I said, what happens this in between these two matches determines WrestleMania for a prolonged booking. Gunther is still world heavyweight champion. He can defend that world championship against anyone at WrestleMania 42. My take, he can defend the title against probably Sami Zayn for Sami to win it at least one time and be a world champion for the first time in his career. And here's how I'm going to book things. Cody will start to embrace that heelish side. I don't think he will wear black or like ever or maybe Rockstar. I think he'll still wear the red, white, blue, and gold of his attire. As a Homelander type. Cody as a heel can also be enticing, and I think it will refreshen his character. It's easy for Cody to turn heel and be booed. The funny thing, and I made this comment in one of the message boards or wrestling boards, is like Cody is a different type of polarizing character because when you have Cena when he was a good guy, or 10 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, John Cena, 15 years ago, fans are chanting, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Cody hasn't, you can hear that from a Cody Rhodes standpoint. But the funny thing is, whenever he's not there and his name gets mentioned, people are booing. It's like, for example, if John Cena is in a ring and Cody Rhodes this, Cody Rhodes that, fans are booing. But when he comes out, they are cheering him. That's how polarizing Cody right now is in the WWE. But I think Cody will start to embrace that much arrogant, heelish character, and I'm still a firm believer that at I believe in Boston, Saturday night's main event. That's the plan at Boston in December with John Cena's last match. Then that's the time that Cody beats John Cena for the championship and embrace that heelish or heel side, evil bad side of things. And how will I prolong that thing is that if Cody becomes a heel, and people will say, "Oh, that's unfair because John Cena's beaten Cody twice, if ever." I'm going to give you another example. Rock Austin. Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin faced each other at WrestleMania three times. WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17, and WrestleMania 19. WrestleMania 15, Stone Cold Steve Austin won. WrestleMania 17, Stone Cold Steve Austin won again, turning heel. And their last match at WrestleMania 19, The Rock won. And that last match was like an even bigger thing because for like Rock, it doesn't matter if you beat me twice. It's just the only thing that matters is that I beat you the last time. And for me, I guess that's that. And now, like I said, if I'm going to prolong things for a booking, it's Gunther versus Gunther versus Sammy, probably at WrestleMania 42. That's fine. But if ever, it's either a babyface Roman Reigns. I don't want to see babyface Roman Reigns against Cody at WrestleMania 42, to be honest. They can do that maybe the latter part of their careers, but I don't think WrestleMania 42 will be an ideal, you know, match. Um, I'm leaning WWE Championship WWE Champion Cody Rhodes defends the title against CM Punk at WrestleMania 42, night 2 even. And if Roman Reigns is ever is cleared, Seth Rollins cleared, I guess they can do a WrestleMania match between them. So that's how I will fantasy book it. So if you're going to ask my prediction this weekend for the World Heavyweight Championship matches, Gunther wins night 1, John Cena wins Cody against Cody night 2. And then you heard my prediction or you heard my fantasy booking within today or between today or this weekend until WrestleMania next year. I mean, I can't wait for the pay-per-view itself. I think every match will be a good match, killer matches, I believe. Can't wait for the six-man TLC, the biggest TLC match in PLE history. So that one is really unpredictable, but I think I will go with Wyatt six with that one. But yeah, there's a lot of great matches that will happen. AJ versus Dominic Mysterio. Hope AJ wins. But for me, if you ask me, that's my prediction for this weekend. For this, especially these two matches, or how I will book them and what how prolong booking, fantasy booking within until WrestleMania next year. So again, that's my opinion. You can tag me and say it's a bad take, but that's the title of my show, Bad Take with Coach 23. But yeah, I can't wait for SummerSlam this weekend, back-to-back nights, first ever, and hope you enjoy that match or that PLE. And yeah, that's it. So probably next week, if ever, we can go with the Unreal one or probably a Fallout episode for SummerSlam, whether I'm correct or not. If I'm correct, that's great. If I'm not, then I don't mind to be wrong every once in a while. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching Bad Take with Coach 23 here at the Podcast Cryptor Podcast. See you guys soon.